So in the last class we discussed about what is citation indexing, and we saw a demo about Web of Science, right? So before going into other citation databases like Scopus and Google Scholar, I want to tell you about the basic and important metrics, that is H index and impact factor, which are used to assess the performance of an individual, assess the research performance as an individual and also of a journal. Okay, so we will see what is H index and impact factor with a step by step example. Okay, so in the first class it was little bit confusing. I just gave you what do you say, little overview about H index, and today I will explain H index with a simple example. Okay, so that is the question everyone is asking. What is H index? So we will see it. Okay. See. So H index was given by George Hirsch. So he is the founder of H index. Okay. So based on two parameters. What are they? Quantity and quality. Quantity represents number of papers. Okay. Quantity represents number of papers. That means I have published 5 papers, like that. Quality represents number of citations. What do you mean by number of citations? I got for 5 papers, I got 20 citations. Simple, okay, like that. So there are two parameters for computing H index. One is quantity, one is quality. Quantity deals with number of papers, quality deals with number of citations. Okay. See, this is the proper definition of H index. So see this definition. So this will be what you call technical. But when I say the example, again I will come back to this definition so that you will understand. A scientist has index H. That means any scientist, any researcher has an index H if H of his or her NP is number of papers, man. Okay, NP is number of papers. H, his or her number of papers have at least H citations. So that means I am having H index of some number, let it be 1, 5 or whatever number. A scientist has H index of let us say 5. H index 5. If 5, I am taking this H as 5. Remember, a scientist has H index 5 if 5 of his number of papers have at least 5 citations, and the other number of papers is less than 5. Okay, so when you see, this is the proper definition. So when you see this with an example, you will definitely understand. Here it is less than or equal to. Okay, see, now I am going to show you what is H index with a specific example. See, this is the number of papers the researcher has published, and that is quantity. Number of citations each of those paper has received. Okay, that means I have published 5 papers and I have received citations for each and every paper. That means I have 5 separate citations for 5 papers. So the first paper may be 1 citation, second paper may be 10 citation, like that. Okay, citations for each of those papers received. Okay, see, this is an example. Okay, let us take one author. We'll call it her Sheila. Okay, the author Sheila has 7 papers. Okay, she has published 7 papers. So the NP is 7. See, here the NP is 7. Okay, number of paper is 7. Okay, so she has published 7 papers. Sheila has published 7 papers. So now, see, the 7 papers, according to the 7 papers, each papers has got different citations. That is this one. So each of citations of each of those papers has received. So that is, the paper number 1 is 130 citations, 2 is 85 citations, 3 is 24, like that. 7 is 1 citation. Okay, Sheila has published 7 papers and all the 7 papers has got different citations. This is citation is ranked according to the decreasing order, highest, from the highest to lowest. Okay, okay. So this is the status of quantity and quality based on Sheila's publication. Okay, so now we are going to ask this question. So do all of Sheila's 7 papers each have 7 or more citation? Can you answer this? Do all of Sheila's 7 papers each have 7 or more citations? That means all the 7 papers have 7 or more citations. That is the question they are asking. All the Celia 7 papers have 7 or more citations? Definitely no. Because you see, here in the paper number 7, is only one citation. It is not more than 7. And here in paper number 6 also only 4 citation, not more than 7. So only 5 papers has more than 7 citations. That is the answer to this question. Not 7 papers. To all of Celia's 7, first you need to understand this question. Do all of Celia's 7 papers, each means every paper has 7 or more citations? No. Only here 5 papers has more than 7. Here other 2 are less than 7. That means the answer is no. So now we are going to ask the same question with 6 papers only. So remove 1 paper. So do 6 of Celia's paper have at least 6 or more citations? For 7 it is no. We will see. 6 also it is no. Because see, the 6 papers, now we are taking only 6 papers, not 7 papers. It is not having 6 or more citations because see 4 is there, 4 is less than 6, right? So 4 is less than 6, so only 5 papers having more than 6 citations. Okay, 6 papers are not having more than 6 citations. Again the answer is no. I am taking you back to this question again. To Celia, do 6 of Celia's papers have 6 or more citation? Answer is no. So again we will minus by 1 paper. Do 5 of Celia's paper each have 5 or more citations? Definitely the answer is yes. See, 5 papers having more than 5 citations, right? So here we are taking 5 papers. Here the citation is 9. That means it is more than 5. So you can leave out the 6th and 7th because 7 papers is not having more than 7 citation. 6 papers is not having more than 6 citation. But 5 papers is having more than 5 citation. So what is the H index? H index is 5. Okay. I hope you understand this with this specific example. Okay. So first we are computing the number of papers and you are ranking the citation in decreasing order, highest from lowest, and you are asking these questions, right? All the papers. Here 7 papers only there. So 7 papers each have 7 or more citations? Definitely no actually. And again you are minusing by 1 paper to check whether 6 papers having 6 or more citation. Again no, because 4 is lesser than 6. And now you are asking the same question by excluding 1 paper. At least 5 papers are having more than 5 citation? Yes, definitely the answer is yes. Because 9 is more than 5. That means Celia's H index is 5. So this is how you calculate H index. That is what I showed you in Web of Science. How to calculate H index. So now we are coming back to the same definition. This definition. Now instead of this H, we are going to put numbers. Okay. Now we know Celia's H index. What is that? That is 5. So now you read this, you will definitely understand. Celia has an H index of 5. That we know that. If 5 of her 7 papers, she has published 7 papers, right? If 5 of her 7 papers have at least 5 citation and each of the other 2 papers have less than 5 citations. So now you read this, it is easy to understand, right? So when you read this with formula like NP or something like that, it might look very vague or it might look very difficult, but it is not difficult. When you understand the process of calculating H index, it is very easy. Now we know that Celia has published 7 papers, but only 5 papers has more than 5 citations. And the remaining 2 papers is less than 5 citations. That is true, right? See, remaining 2 papers is less than 5. 5 paper is more than 5 citations. So that is the definition of H index. So H index is 5 for Celia. So similarly for every author, it will vary depending upon the citation, okay, and the number of publication, okay. So a few more things you need to think about before finalizing H index as a good parameter or not. So different fields have different publishing and citation behavior. You must remember that, okay. Science stream, the citation pattern will be different. Social science stream, the citation pattern will be different and the behavior will be different. So it is not it is not advisable to compare a researcher who is in from library science to compare a researcher in biology based on their H index alone, okay, because everything is different. The publications, science, they mostly focus on applied research. We are not doing like that. Mostly we are focusing on descriptive or something other kinds of research, survey kinds of research. But the thing is, you cannot compare H index for different set of researchers. I am a researcher in library science, you are a researcher in biology. If your H index is high means you cannot directly say that he is better than me. That is not the case, okay? And that is in case of different disciplines. And one more thing, H index favors experienced researchers. Remember, citation takes usually longer time to accumulate. Immediately after publication, immediately you will not get citation. It will take longer time to get more and more citations. So a professor will have more citation than assistant professor. So when you compare them based on the H index, it is very wrong, and it will not what do you say, it will not be correct. It is not a standard procedure. See, this researcher is only 5 years into her career, and this researcher has 18 years. So the number of publication is increased. Here the number of publication is less. So if you compare H index for these two, there will be difference, and you cannot what do you say, you cannot determine this. So this researcher is what do you say, this researcher is very good than this researcher, because this researcher is in the early stage, but she is having a vast experience. So H index always favors the experienced researcher, because citation takes time to accumulate. Okay, if you have published an article today means you won't get citation immediately. It will take more than a year or so to accumulate citations. So based on the time and based on the number of years you are into research, accordingly your citations vary, accordingly your H index will vary, right? Again, the H index will depends on the where you get the publication and the citation data, right? So for H index depends on the data source also. Data source is important. For Web of Science, my H index will be different. For Google Scholar, my H index will be different. For Scopus, my H index will be different. This is based on the indexing services, right? So Web of Science index only good journals, the articles, journals which are indexed in Web of Science only. So when you publish research in those articles, so you will have citations from those only. So when you publish the journals in Scopus, the articles in Scopus means you will get H index in Scopus. Similarly, when you have web index, when you have published in other which are indexed in Google Scholar, your H index will vary, right? So depending upon the data source, H index will vary. Okay. So one more important question: H index alone, H index, what do you say? H index alone doesn't represent the researcher's contribution or researcher's perspective, right? Based on H index, you cannot say he's a good researcher, he's a bad researcher. There are many more things you need to consider. Let it be awards, let it be collaboration, patents, grants, leadership roles. All these things are not considered by H index. H index calculates only citation, and based on citation alone, you cannot say that he is a good researcher. Okay. These are some of the limitations. You have to look beyond citations. Okay, that is where a new concept came: alternative metrics. So these are traditional metrics: H index, G index, impact factor. These are traditional metrics. Now new metrics is the altimetrics. Okay, that it uses social media for capturing data. Some good research having zero citations also. Okay, that doesn't mean that research is not good. Okay, that depends upon, and even citations you can manipulate. I told you about manipulation. That means you can change. I am the researcher means I am the researcher. Okay, I am telling you as your students, you have to compulsorily, you have to cite my paper. So what will happen? I will get more citation automatically. That doesn't mean that my paper is good. Okay, I am telling I am asking you, I am giving you instruction to cite my paper. Okay. So again, I am instructing my colleague to cite my paper, my friends, my students, everyone who knows me to cite my paper. Okay. That means what will happen? My citation will automatically increase. My H index will automatically increase. So H index is alone is not a, what do you say? Alone is not a good measure for determining the efficiency of research. Okay. It can be manipulated. And again, I myself can cite my paper. It is called self-citation. Okay. So citation can be manipulated. If you are my student means, if you are writing a paper means, you have to cite my paper. For increasing my citation, I am giving you an order or instruction. All my students should cite my paper. Okay, so automatically my H index will be higher. So with zero citations also, there are very good papers. So H index is what you say. It is a assessment to. It is a measure. It is a measure to assess the impact of the researcher. But it is not only, it is not the sole, what do you say? It is not the sole criteria. There are different criteria, and these are some of the things you can look at to get an overview of the researcher's background and everything. Okay. So there are limitations, there are disadvantages also. So again, I want to tell you about one more traditional metrics, that is impact factor. So H index is for author or institution, whatever it may be. Impact factor is only for journals. Okay, you might have come across journal having impact factor 5, journal having impact factor 6. So what is this impact factor mean actually? So according to the standard definition, see, all citations to the journal of item published in the previous 2 years divided by the total number of items published in the journal in the previous 2 years. Okay, that is dividing the number of times a journal has been cited by the number of articles it has published during some specific period of time. Okay, what you are doing is, so you forget this definition. What you are doing is, you are dividing the number of citation by the number of publication the journal has published. Okay, that is what you are doing. So when you get a number, that is called impact factor. So we will see this with a specific example. So before that, you just take a look at this particular sentence. A journal impact factor of 1.0. That means any journal, let it be any journal. It is saying that it has impact factor 1.0. What is the meaning of that 1.0? It means that on average, you know what is average, right? Mean. On average, the article published 2 years ago have been cited one time. Okay. That means the impact factor of the journal is 1. That means the article which has published 2 years ago, let us say it is 2020. In 2020, this journal is saying, this journal, let us say Journal of Library Science. This Journal of Library Science is saying, we are having an impact factor of 1.0. What does it mean actually? This number, what does this number mean 1.0? That means in 2018 and 2019, all the articles published by that particular journal has at least received one citation on average. That is the meaning actually. So we will see this in a specific example. Okay. See, now we are going to calculate the impact factor for a part. So you remember, every year the impact factor will change. Remember that. Okay. It is not constant. Depending upon the publication and the citation, every year the impact factor will change. Okay. So for 2015, we are going to calculate the impact factor. Normally, impact factor is, when you say normally impact factor, it is calculated for 2 years only. See, so for similarly for this example, I am going to calculate the impact factor for journal 2015. So how do I do that? So again, I have to take previous 2 years, 2 years ago, like this sentence. 2013, the journal has published 25 papers. In 2014, the journal has published 20 papers. Okay. So these 25 and 20 papers has got 500 citations. In 2015. In 2000, you have to take the citation from the year 2015 and you have to add the number of publications for the last 2 years. For these 45 papers, they got 500 citations in 2015. Okay. So now you are going to divide 500 by 45. Whatever number comes, that will be the impact factor. Okay. The citation received in the current year by the number of papers published in the last 2 years. Simple definition. Okay. Citation received in the current year divided by the number of articles published in the last 2 years. This is 2 year impact factor. Okay. So this is a very good journal. This is a journal published by Springer. 2.770. 2.770 is a very good impact factor actually. Seriously, it is a very good impact factor. Okay. So that means every article on average is cited at least more than 2 times. Okay. See, this is for 2018 only. On 19 it will be changed. 20 it will be changed. Okay. So for 2018, what is the citation? For 2018, you have to take the citation of the year 2016 and 17 of the items published, right? So citation in 2018 to the items published in 2016 and 17. So number of items in 2016 and 17 is 721. Okay. So they are taking the number of papers that are published in 2016 and 17. That is 721 items. And the citation received by these 721 items in the year 2018 is 1997. So when you divide this, you will get 2.7. So 2.7770 is very good, and it is a good number. So when you see a journal impact factor, any journal will claim that we are having 5, 6 or something like that, but it is not true. Only Web of Science and JCR, they are what do you say, they have a standard way of computing this. Okay, so any journal, if they claim they are having 5 means it should be a standard and very good journal. So if any journal, if you get any mail like that, you don't believe it. Okay, go to JCR, journal citation report, and check it, and go to Web of Science and check whether the journal is already indexed in Web of Science or not. Okay, then you believe that journal. Don't believe randomly. Okay, because even the high quality scientific journal is having 2. If anyone is saying 5 means it's very high. It is very high. 5 is too high actually. Okay, so this is a proper way to compute. And again, I told you, in H-index, citation can be manipulated. What these new journals do is, they will increase their citation. They will automatically cite. Again, when citation will increase, what will happen? Impact factor will increase. That is not the way actually. So JCR and Web of Science, what you say, that is an authorized tool to calculate this citation. Okay. See, this is a, what do you say, this is a segmentation of how, what is numerator and denominator, right? So this is numerator, this is denominator. So here this is numerator. What is in the top is numerator. Blue color is numerator, green color is denominator, right? So JCR is journal citation report. I will tell you what is JCR actually. Okay, it considers the, so whenever you get a mail from a publisher or an article, please check whether it is a original journal or not, or it's a fake or not. Okay, anyone can claim I am 5, I am 6 impact factor. That is not true. Okay, so you have to check those journal in JCR actually. So JCR considers the citation received for all document types, like articles, reviews, newsletters, abstracts, and everything. So denominator is journals published different documents, but for calculate impact factor, they just take articles, reviews, and proceedings. See, they only take the articles, reviews, and proceedings. But in terms of calculating citations, they take everything. But in terms of items, they only take three main sources: articles, reviews, and proceedings. Okay. So this is how they calculate journal citation report. Remember this. It is in Web of Science. I think I have showed you that JCR. Okay. So this is number of what do you say? This is the citation. So citation, it takes from citation index. I have told you ESCI, emerging source, science citation index, everything, right? And book citation index, proceedings, SCI, SHCI, arts and humanities citation index, etc. Okay, this is how a citation window will look like. We saw an example is 2-year citation window. If you want, you can compute 3-year. That means you have to include one more year like this. You have to include this year also, 2012. If you include 2012, it will be a 3-year citation. Okay. And similarly, there will be 5-year citation. Okay. And 2-year and 5-year, you can see the impact. For all the 5 years, number of publications published by the journal in the last 5 years, plus the citation received in the current year. Okay. So 5-year on 2-year, normally if you say impact factor, it will take only 2 years. And you can specifically compute for 3 years or 5 years also. And there is a problem. What do you mean by IF? IF is not if actually. It is an acronym for impact factor. Okay, don't think it is as if. It is an impact factor. Limitations and problems. There are problems. Again, I told you. The main problem with the impact factor is it's used for the evaluation at individual level. That is true actually. Impact factor. Again, impact factor are widely used in academic evaluation. Yes, that is true. Academic evaluation means for our promotion. In India also, for assistant professor to associate professor, from one scale to another scale, you have to publish article in impact factor more than 5, less than 5, something like that. There is marks for that. There is marks. If you publish impact factor, if you publish an article in impact factor journal less than 5, you will having 5 marks. Simply, I am giving example. If it is more than 5, you will have 10 marks, something like that. Okay. So that is still widely used in academic evaluations. See, this is a research reported in Nature. Okay, in more than 80% of the research in universities, most of the universities use impact factor in academic evaluation. That means if you are publishing in high impact factor journal, means you are good. That research is good. That is what they are considering. Simple. Many academicians and review panels have turned to impact factors as the quick way of judging the quality of the paper, but that is not true actually. So when you see, oh, this article has been published in impact factor journal, that is 6.0 impact factor. Oh, that might be good. Without reading the article, they are saying just because it is published in an impact factor 6 journal, it is good. That is not the case actually. This is a quick way they are judging it like that. And university is also having what do you say? Most of the universities are also having impact factor as the method of evaluation. In Spain, there is a case study in Spain. Journals with high impact factor is an official part of the national system for evaluating researcher productivity. Everywhere it is like that. A money bonus is awarded for articles published in top JCR journals. That means when the JCR, I told you, journal citation reports provide impact factors, and if you are publishing in top JCR journals with high impact factor, you will get bonus appraisal. You will get money. You will get extra money bonus. So Spain also it is doing like that. So but here some research groups have altered their agendas. In Spain, what they done is research with practical application and research on topics that are local has been replaced by research in topics more likely to be better received by the international research community. This is very good actually, because research, if you take it in if you are doing research in India, means first you have to address a local situation. What is the problem of librarians in India? What is the problem of library in India? Then you can address the international situation. Just because you want to write a research that is accepted internationally doesn't mean that you have to exclude the local variable, right? Because you are a researcher from India. First you need to address what is the problem in India. So what is the situation in India? So that should be given more importance than international acceptance. That is what they have changed. See this. The research topics that are local, that is very important. Why user not coming? Why the use of public libraries in India are declining? Okay, that is very important. Based on this, the Indian government can take a decision, right? So international research you can do always. Bibliometrics on public libraries all over the world. Bibliometrics on universities in Europe. You can do that. Anyone can do that. Internationally it will be accepted, but still local research should be given due importance. That is what researchers have emphasized the fact, right? These local research, what you say, you will not get more citation, because other researchers from other parts of the world, they won't understand the context, right? But they will know about the situation in India, but that may not be useful for their research. That's why you won't get more citations, but that research will be of top quality, because you are addressing the problems in India. You are addressing the situation in India. Okay, sometimes that is why sometimes citation doesn't be a good evaluator, right? So again, see, one more declaration on research assessment by San Francisco. Do not use journal-based metrics. What is journal-based metrics? This impact factor and everything, such as impact factor, a measure of quality of individual research article to assess individual scientist contribution, hiring and proportion or funding decision. They have clearly mentioned that do not use this. Do not use impact factor to determine whether the researcher is good, but to give promotion or something like that. Do not use this. That is what they are saying. Okay. So now I am going to tell you a brief overview about what is JCR, Journal Citation Report. See, it offers a systematic objective means to critically evaluate world's leading journals with a quantifiable statistical information based on citation data. That means it presents a list of journals in different disciplines based on their citations. Okay, that is journal citation reports. So they are the authentic source for computing impact factor H index. Okay, remember that. So what JCR, what librarians, researchers and publishers can do with JCR data? For librarians, how it will be useful? For researcher, how it will be useful? See, you can discover high impact journals. That means original journals. There are lots of fake journals available. You can discover original journals. JCR, if you go and see the JCR report, you will find only original journals. That are good journals. Develop and manage journal collections, right? Compare a custom selection of journals. In case if a library wants to subscribe journals, you can select from this sources, because they are very good. And find related journals, review journals, citation information on subject categories. You can also find the citation information on different subjects, right? So this is how it will be useful. So on 2018 JCR coverages, it covers around 12,538 journals. That to 9,000 in science discipline and 3,000 in social science discipline. And similarly, it has 236 disciplines. In science it has 178 disciplines like physics, chemistry, whatever it may be. And social science it has 58 discipline. Okay. So this is the journals and discipline coverages of JCR in 2018. Now the data will be changed, right? So these are the different indicators. See, these are the different indicators used by JCR. So we discussed what is impact factor without self cites, that is no self citation. I told you about. Okay, what is a 5-year impact factor, Eugen factor, ISSN. These are the different indicators they are using. Okay. Okay, now I am not going into detail about all these indicators. I told you about impact factor, 5-year impact factor, and these are, I have given you a simple definition for everything. Immediacy index, Eugen factor, cited half-life, and article influence score. Okay, so these are the things they are using in bibliometrics. Remember this. These are the indicators they are using in bibliometrics. So immediacy index is, it is used to determine the hot topics. Average number of items, average number of times an article is cited in the year it is published. Okay, it is not like impact factor. Okay, immediacy index, that means I have published an article in 2019 January and 2019 January. By the end of 2019 December or 2020 January 1st, how many times on average it has been cited? If it is cited, if the average is high, means that article is what do you say, hot area, that is a core area of research, new topic or a hot topic. So this index will help to identify that. Okay, Eugen factor is based on the number of times articles from the journal published in the past 5 years which has been cited in the JCR, but also considers which journal have contributed to these citations that have highly cited, and journal will influence the network than lesser cited journals. It is like impact factor only, but what it does is last 5 years it takes the data from the last 5 years of JCR, and it not only computes that. What it takes is, it takes the highly cited journals into account, right? It leaves the low citation, it leaves the journals with low citations. So in order to determine which journals have the most impact, so for this Eugen factor is used. Like this cited half-life is average age. What is the average age? When a new topic comes, means old topic will go, right? That is the average age. Average age of articles cited by the journal in JCR. Okay, for example, in JCR 2014, the journal International Social Work has a citing half-life of 7.1. So that is the score. What is the meaning of that? That means 50% of all the articles cited by International Social Work in 2014 were published between 1995 and 2014. Okay. So this helps to evaluate the currency of research cited. Cited half-life means, so how long the citation is valid, how long without, this topic or current, and whether the topic is outdated, whether new topic is arrived or not, like that. So based on this, I didn't give you any example, so that based on this definition alone, you will not be able to get a clear understanding. But when you see an example, you will definitely understand how to calculate this. And there is an article influence score. This is for a particular article, okay? Journal's article over the first 5 years since publication. So I am publishing this article in 2020, means for 2025, the first 5 years since publication. It is calculated by multiplying the Eugen factor score by 0.01 and dividing that number by the articles in the journal. See, these are some of the parameters for calculating. So when you see an article with all these parameters, you will definitely understand how to calculate this. But remember, these are just what you say, metrics. These metrics alone does not determine the quality of research. Remember that, okay? So these are the metrics used by this. So now you learned in detail about impact factor and H index. Okay, so other metrics I have given an overview. So kindly go through these references for a detailed understanding, which is used to prepare this particular presentation. Thank you.